Why Words Work. 5 words to know in English with your host, David Corcoran. Hi, and welcome to this episode, my first episode where I have a very special guest today. My guest for his 5 words is Akos Gerold, who is a persuasion expert, internationally renowned, and really teaches people how to persuade and drive decisions based on how the brain makes them. He is a trainer for companies, providing mentoring as well for individuals, and provides high stakes presentations. So if you like the 5 words of Akos, I really suggest you get in touch with him, and I'll have details a little bit later about how you can connect to him. But let's welcome him now into the broadcast studio. So Akos, thank you for joining me. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And a big thank you for inviting me. It's great to be here. And I'm very much looking forward to talking about the 5 words I think are really important to persuasion.
Wonderful. So let's get straight into the word. So I'll read the word, and then I'd love for you to tell our viewers what the word means to you, or maybe there's a story you want to share. So the first word is you, used to refer to the person or people being spoken or written to. So as a persuasion expert, Akos, what does this mean for you?
My motto is, if you want to fail at presenting, believe that your audience is there because of you. If you want to succeed, believe that you are there because of your audience. And I think that the pronoun you, and actually the related words like your and yours, reflect this change in mentality, that what you are doing as a communicator is not about you, but it's about your audience. So it's not I-centric, not speaker-centric, it's audience-centric. And for instance, what you can do also when you write copy is use the word you, your, yours as much as possible. So for example, instead of saying it's really important to make eye contact with the audience, you can say it's really important to make eye contact with your audience. Why? Because people subconsciously, even though the change may be really, really small, but subconsciously they perceive that it's about them rather than making a general statement.
Great. That sounds persuasive to me. Wonderful. Let's have a look at word number 2. Win-win. A win-win situation or result is one that is good for everyone who is involved. So
I think win-win is key for persuasion. Typically, people start persuading, or at least they think they start persuading by, again, taking an I-centric approach, talking about what I want and why the other person should do that. And nobody really cares about that, to tell you the truth. People care about what they need and what they want. So we always need to aim for a win-win. And it's really, really interesting when I am selling my services, when somebody contacts me and says, okay, I know a little about your work. Could you tell me a little more and how it all works and so on? Then when I use, and I use it intentionally, when I use the word win-win to explain that I cannot win unless you win, then you can really see on their body language how they sort of relax, and they understand, they start trusting you more. They understand that you are not there because of you, of yourself, but you can only win if they win. So it's really working together. It's collaboration.
That's awesome. Building trust and a win-win. Listen, to give attention to someone or something in order to hear him, her, or it. Listen.
I think this is really, really spot on, because it's about giving attention to someone or something in order to hear him, her, or it. Again, this is how we start persuading. As I mentioned, a lot of people think that we just need to go in and start talking about what we want. That's not what it's about. It's about first listening to the other person, understanding, hearing them, so that you can build a win-win based on what they want, what they feel, what they need. That is the way to persuade.
Lovely. And already I hear you building those words in a key sentence there for everybody, really using all 3. So word number 4 is why. For what reason? Why?
why is somewhat of a personal thing for me.
Mhm.
I'm a highly analytical person, and very often when I do consultancy, so that means that I help a client develop a persuasive presentation and train them how to deliver it. I don't know what I go in and will see there, will find there. And what I learned over the years is that when we understand the whys, when we dig deep as consultants, as trainers, and we understand the whys, why the other person thinks what they think, why they feel what they feel, why they do what they do, how they, and that helps us immediately see how they think about their world. And during that process, the ideas start coming to me. When I start understanding the whys, the ideas start coming to me, and I can really deliver an excellent presentation for my clients.
I love that. Why? So not just one, not the first one. Maybe you go further and deeper with your people as
Exactly.
well.
Exactly, and you're probably familiar with the 5 whys, the technique. Asking why 5 times in order to dive deeper into a topic. And that when you really start looking for deeper answers, and initially in the first 2 or 3 why questions, you will just get some superficial answers and sometimes even circle reasoning. But when you get to the 3rd, 4th, and 5th one, that really makes the other person think about the whys. And, oh, hang on, why am I really doing this? How is this important for me? That's when you get the gold nuggets.
And to create a win-win, I guess, perhaps as well, because then the person's truly aligned with why are they showing up? Why do they want to do this? And so then they can be more honest with you so that you can create the right scenario for them, being audience focused too. I love it. That's great.
Exactly. Often they realize, and they say it explicitly, that they never understood why they do certain things as deeply as after this dig deep, this attempt to understand the roots and the whys of everything.
That's wonderful. All right, let's have a look at word number 5, emotion, a strong feeling such as love or anger or strong feelings in general. Emotion.
I think that emotion is not a word that you need to use like you need to use you or win-win in order to be more persuasive. Emotion is something that we need to understand. We need to understand why it is important. Emotions drive decisions. When you start studying how decisions are made and how you can drive them based on that, then you start realizing that there are 3 brains that we all have for evolutionary reasons inside the gray matter. And the first one is the instinctive brain, the second is the emotional brain, and the third one is the rational brain. And the instinctive brain is about building trust, which we already talked about, and that's the basis for everything. Once you build trust, then you, in this attempt to drive decisions, you need to speak to the emotional brain, and that is actually where the majority of decisions are made. I know that there are lots of people, and let me tell you, that included myself for a very, very long time, who think that, no, I'm a very rational person. I analyze everything and I make my decision based on that. And when you start understanding how decisions are made, you realize that the vast majority of decisions are emotional. So this is where we make them. And then the rational brain just comes in to help us justify in most of the cases, justify the decision that had already been made emotionally. And this is why emotions are key for driving decisions. It was a huge watershed moment when I managed to make the switch from thinking I'm a highly rational person, I decide everything rationally, and so do others, to understanding that actually we all decide emotionally. And if we understand how to speak to emotions, that's where the power lies for driving decisions.
Wonderful. From my own research, we never not feel emotion. So even now, our viewers might be feeling emotion listening to your wonderful words. We're feeling emotions in this moment, of course, as well. And we can feel multiple emotions. So this is really great to be persuasive. We have these 5 words. So I'd like to invite you now, Akos, to really read these words as your executive voice coach here, just to ask you to read the words with really the power that they mean to you And if you're listening into this episode, listen to how Akos really uses these words so that we can really feel with emotion how to respond. So, Akos, the 5 words, please.
You, win-win. Listen. Why? Emotion.
Ooh, I love it. Would you do it one more time?
You, win-win. Listen. Why? Emotion.
I love that. So if you're listening on, try those words out. Put them in your own journal. Follow Akos and find in a minute, as we'll share details about how you can connect further to be more persuasive in your own presentations, but in life, because I think we all want to persuade, don't we? We all want to find ways to get what we want, but also to provide those win-wins. And I love the way your face lit up with a beautiful smile, Akos, when you said win-win. So do you have any final words? How can people connect with you? And any other last thoughts from you?
I think that when we want to persuade, we really need to look more deeply into what words mean and how we can use them. So be analytic, look for the whys in order to create the emotion, to focus on you rather than I, and to listen in order to hear. And people can find out more about me on my website, which is www.akos-gerold.com. And if they type in Akos Gerold on LinkedIn, they will also find me. I also have a LinkedIn group, which is called Brain Friendly Presenting and Influence. And if you're interested in that topic, just connect with me on LinkedIn, ask me to put you in the group, and I'll be happy to, because then you will get a notification about every content I share related to persuasion, driving decisions, and influence.
Great. I'll be joining that group. So thank you for that invitation. That's really wonderful. Great. So Akos, it's been really wonderful to share this time with you. Thank you for your 5 words. And people, please connect with Akos and really become more persuasive and brain-friendly at the same time. Have a good day, Akos. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, David.
Why words work. 5 words to know in English.